Yeah, I said that I would finish off with some discussion of scatter plots. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and keep going with that. So, okay, so we're going to stop. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the idea of when we describe scatter plots. So scatter plot is when you have the X's and the Y's and the dots on there. Again, it's an acronym, and the acronym that I use with my students is DOFS, DOFS. When you're describing a scatter plot, what you want to do is you want to look at the direction. And there's really three options. It's a positive, like a positive slope, negative, like a negative slope, or no association. Um, Outliers are going to be points that kind of fall outside the pattern of the line. They're usually pretty easy to see when you look at one. Hopefully the example we'll have one so we can talk about it. F is form, and it's either linear or it's not linear. Strength is strong, moderate, or weak, and basically it's how tightly the dots are clustered around what you would envision as the line that best fit it. And then, of course, you always want to have context. You always want to talk about what we're talking about in the problem. Again, I haven't seen them ask compare very much, but much like with when we're comparing distributions, we want to use phrases like greater is stronger than is more than is roughly the same. So here's the idea. This is a scatter plot. We need to describe this scatter plot. So when I look at the scatter plot has length in millimeters and mass in grams for 11 bullfrogs. So using DOFS, the direction, you can clearly see that this has got a positive slope to it. Form, it is linear. I mean, you can see a line there. Strength, put this one moderate, maybe a moderately strong, because you can see that if we were to envision a line, I'm just going to draw a rough line. If we were to draw a rough line, the line would probably look something like that, probably a little flatter. But the dots are relatively close around the line. So that's going to be our form and our strength, and then outliers. If you were to kind of talk about an outlier, I might view this one as an outlier, and mainly it's because its residual would be relatively large. But honestly, on this one, I don't really see any outliers of any note. To me, what I would say is that what would an outlier look like? An outlier would look something like this. If I had a dot that was like right there, that would be an outlier. If I had a dot that was out here, that would be an outlier. Okay, so those are what I'm talking about when I'm saying outliers. And it's, so in other words, this is what you're going to see in terms of a question one. It's either going to be describing a distribution or it's going to be describing a scatter plot like that. And that usually will be like a question one kind of thing that you'll see. So hopefully that helps answer questions. I told you I'd make a nice little short one for this one. I'll post it up on our Schoology site, and please feel free to ask me any questions. Other than that, have a good day.